Okay, that should be live now. Once again, I apologize for being late. Okay, I'm going to wait till people get on so I know that I'm here. I'm just streaming my own internet from my phone. Okay. So this is a testament to my work. I'm like, whew. This week has been so my whole family is dealing with these sinus infections, like I mentioned yesterday. You can probably hear, which is fine. My body's holding up. I just have the the funny sound, but a lot of energy moving this week, and I am so happy to be on here with you all. First of all, because I have something that I am excited to share with you all about the theme, and then about some new announcements, some new developments in this community. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. And yeah, so let's just give people a couple of minutes to hop on. And I am just I am just trusting that the internet is going to hold up. I'm just full surrender mode. You know, when you put yourself out there, and I'm actually going to talk about this in regards to the theme today, when you really surrender and you just let go, and for me, it's a lot about control, about not controlling my emotions, not trying to control everyone and everyone else. Not being pushy either, and being in these this like do. Like, I've been sick this week, so I really haven't been putting a lot of all the time and the effort into this retreat as I had hoped, but I can't push. I got to walk my walk, and so I did just rest all day yesterday, and it was nourishing, and I know that's why my body hasn't crashed as much as my husband. He's really sick, and we just gotta go with the flow sometimes. And it's like, okay, I picked surrender as my word for the year, and now the universe is giving me many opportunities to surrender to it. So we're here, and I'm so excited to get into the content. And because I didn't really have a lot of time to practice it today, I'm going to be kind of winging it, which is totally fine, because the message in itself is a powerful one, and one that I'm really excited to share. And so let's get into it. I hope that those of you who attended the workshop or were able to watch the replay of Megan's offering yesterday, I hope you enjoyed it. I felt so grounded, and it was just a really amazing afternoon. I think that's what allowed me to truly be able to surrender to my heart and my body's needs, was by getting grounded in that practice. I know it went a little bit longer, actually way longer than expected, but I just wrote Megan a message and said, keep going, because I know that the way she works is very timeless, and that was coming through to me. The energy was really strong, and I felt like I didn't want to interrupt her. And I'm so, just glad that she was able to finally come in this group. I've been wanting her to come in for a while, but she finally got to make it yesterday. So I hope that those of you who are able to attend enjoyed that. And, she could have done this workshop today in terms of the practices that she gave us of really embodying our inner creatrix. And I'll get to explain a little bit more about what that means. But just to give you a lay of the land, this is day 5. So for those of you who are on the email list, you will be getting the emails that have the link to the special page where all the replays are going to be held. I'm going to take them off this page for various reasons. Because I am going to be making this into a course that's going to be more refined, and the meditations are going to have music, and it's just going to be this beautiful offering. But I do want to just give you, those of you who are on the list, the option to access this retreat for another week. So be sure you get on the list, and you can still hop on the list if you're not yet. And that way you can get the access to the replays. And then I didn't introduce myself. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hollis Bailey. I am the founder of this group and the founder of the Surrender to Remember portal, which I'll tell you more about at the end of this talk. I'm a transformational facilitator and coach and mentor and whatever words there are to describe really being a teacher in this space of consciousness transformation. And I help people remember who they are and what they came here to do. And that's really about getting embodied, claiming our birthright to be as powerful and as creative and full of unconditional love and limitless power that we really came here to do. We're all on a soul mission. And the similar thing that ties us all together, we all have different flavors of that mission, but we all did choose to come down here and embody human bodies and have this human experience. So that's what I'm talking about when I say I help people remember who they are, because for a lot of us, and I know this is from my experience, I'm working in this space with various coaches over the years and then working in group coaching programs where I'm seeing this happen with the other students in those programs, is that so many of us are not fully embodying what it means to be in this body. And I'm going to talk about all the reasons. We've talked a lot about the reasons we don't choose to be in our bodies all the time this week. But today I'm going to touch on that a little bit more and really show you through a personal story, a letter I wrote yesterday, hopefully give you a really clear picture of how to come back in our bodies and how to really face the pain that we often need to walk through to get back into the belief or to embody the identity that it is safe to be in our body and it is safe to be here and you are worthy and you are lovable. And these are core wounds that we all have. And there's reasons why we choose to not be in our bodies all of the time. So I'm going to give you hopefully a good explanation of what that all looks like in a practical sense today. So let's see, am I forgetting any other brass tacks type stuff? I don't think so. I am going to go grab a glass of water really quick. Okay, that feels better now that I have my water in front of me. So what am I talking about when I'm talking about the Creatrix? So where do I start? So we kind of talked about it. I know Megan touched on it yesterday, and I just touched on it too, but I'll say it again. Joy is just one of the many flavors of emotions that we have, right? Many, many, many flavors. And yes, it is one that we have all experienced at least a few times in our lives. But oftentimes to get to that joy and that pleasure, we really have to be willing to walk through our pain. And it's especially true that we need to be willing to sit with our pain if we want to reach that higher frequency and be able to embody it for a longer period of time. So we can catch glimpses of it. And I use my daughter all the time, and I'm able to hold that frequency for a little bit longer the more I practice these embodiment practices that I gave you this week. But when I see her and I really connect with her in that moment, I mean, it's contagious. And that's what can happen for us too. When we start to embody more experiences of joy and hold that frequency for longer, we are then going to be able to give it out to the world. But we want to cultivate these practices and cultivate this frequency in our own lives first. And oftentimes we have to walk through the pain a little bit to get there and just get comfortable with sitting through it, because it's never going to go away. Pain's never going to go away. Suffering, yes, is a choice. And I'm going to talk about that too. But without one, the other doesn't exist. So we really need to start to adopt this gratitude for the pain, and the gratitude that we chose to come down here and live this experience of so many dualities, right? And the path to liberation is really to learn how to embrace it all, because we don't know what's going to happen. And that's actually a real key to surrendering, is surrendering to the outcomes of any path you choose to go on. It's, we don't know if we're going to be able to make it all the time. We just have to believe and trust and surrender and let go of that control a little bit. But without these dualities, there's the lightness and the darkness that we talked about yesterday, the positive, the negative, the masculine, the feminine. And in terms of the creatrix being like the ultimate creators, us being the ultimate creators of our lives, like the master creator, you can think of it. I really believe that this is being able to balance the feminine and the masculine energies so that we can embody the full expression of ourselves and who we are. So both these masculine and feminine energies have healthy and unhealthy qualities, right? So our work is to kind of identify those in our own path and work to balance both sides. And when we can truly integrate and embody the healthy qualities of both the masculine and the feminine, we live with clarity and purpose, which is kind of the masculine, like the overarching umbrella of the masculine is having that clarity and having that purpose. And then we can also surrender to the flow and this divine flow of love and just knowingness and receiving the messages from the divine, from our soul, so that we can carry out our purpose with clarity and with confidence. So that's kind of a brief explanation of how having both of these masculine and feminine energies in balance plays out in our lives. And of course, if we're imbalanced in these, it results in often disconnecting from others, disconnecting from our body, disconnecting from our path, our purpose. And so we can get ourselves into these they're kind of the comfort zone of suffering. And the ultimate work of the Creatrix is to continue to practice these practices of embodiment, to be fully present and able to sit with the life force energy within you. And Megan gave us some tremendous practices yesterday to really connect with all of the parts on our body, root to crown, of how this life force runs through us. And so if you haven't watched that, go back and you can fast forward to like the last hour and do those practices. But it really is about being fully present and able to sit with all of this energy inside of us and just allow it to move through our physical bodies, allow it to transcend the limiting beliefs of our mental bodies and access more of the subconscious mind, right? And of course, allow it to expand out into our spiritual body and allow ourselves to be having this really expansive experience, but from the inside out. So I've given you a lot of tools this week that you can practice to bring your energy back into your body and begin to feel, what parts of your body are empty in a sense. What parts of your body are you not able to access? The heart, I say start with the heart and then move down to the stomach, the belly area, this power center, move down to your womb space, and just see what parts of your body are really needing more focus and attention. And it takes courage. This takes courage. This is not a path for the not brave. So just keep reminding yourself, it takes practice. It takes practice, and it takes daily practice often. And especially when we go into those lower chakras, I think it's when I started doing the womb space meditations and, embarking on the path of ancestral healing. There's so much more there to discover, but that is really a whole nother level, right? But we've got to stay connected to our hearts, and we've got to keep reminding our power centers that it's okay to be open, right? And like step into our power. And we just keep going in and in and in. And so now I'm just going to read you. This is kind of where the winging it comes in, but I think this is important. I wrote this letter all day yesterday. I spent all day writing this letter as I was kind of in bed and in and out of sleep. And I just, I feel like it's important to read this letter because it's really the pathway that I walked, that I discovered when I surrendered to the ways that I did to get to this place of really being embodied. And it's not like I stay in my body all the time. I do these practices every day too. But I'm just going to read you the letter, and then we'll do the fun stuff at the end, like the prizes. So it goes. I have a story to tell you. It's one of deep humility, but one of truth, and one that I can finally say that I understand. It starts here. I used to think bravery meant giving a speech in front of thousands of people, or maybe jumping out of a helicopter with a pair of skis on and a backpack. But the other day, when I was sitting in a group coaching session that lasted 3.5 hours, watching all of these people share their deepest, darkest traumas that honestly I never thought I would have had the space to, the ability to hold space for some of these stories. So it was in this space that I realized how much I'd grown first. And really that the bravest thing I think that anyone on this planet can do is to be willing to truly sit with yourself and go into your heart and ask for clarity. And I really can say that this is true because the times in my life when I've actually given myself the space to go inside and ask for guidance have been those times in my life when I knew that something really needed to change. Basically, I had decided that I was done with my suffering. I spent over a decade being spiritual and kind of hiding behind this mask. And I was avoiding in this time because I was so in my mind doing the real work of bravery that I just mentioned. And that's going inside and sitting with whatever comes up after we ask this question. So for me, it took a mixture of things. This whole last year, it took my initiation into motherhood. It took a toxic relationship, which I'm still very much in the middle of, but coming to peace with and resolve with in so many areas because I'm doing this work. Another failed business or businesses, and the global pandemic. And it really took all of these things, the combination of all at once in 2020 to get me to finally sit down and be still for long enough to really muster up the courage to pray that brave prayer. And I just kept asking over and over, please give me clarity on how to stop the suffering. And of course, we have to sit and listen for the answer, right? But I began to see that the only way to stop getting the same results I had been getting, which for me manifest in depression, anxiety, a lot of anger and a lot of rage, disappointment, stuckness, and they all have this victim-based story to them, which perpetuates this feeling of shame and guilt and unworthiness. And so I began to see that to stop getting these same results, the only way I was going to get resolution was to really sit for long enough with this question. And that's when the word surrender came in for me. I had to be willing to surrender to this journey that I was going to go inside and feel all of the feelings that were going to come up as I started to ask these questions. So the reason I say that this is the bravest thing anyone can do is this. I realize in this whole process that we resist the clarity because we're truly afraid of what we will see. So if I understand the full truth of myself, you know, my job, my family, my relationship, who I am with the core, who will I be then? Right? Like all of these things might shift and I might just lose my entire life and identity. So that's why we don't often ask this question. And we resist feeling the emotions that begin to surface when we sit with this question for various reasons, very valid reasons. We ultimately think that if we sink into the pain, we might never come out of it, right? How many of us have avoided pain because it's just too intense and we think we might stay there? Even deeper than that, there is a part of us that truly believes that if we surrender to the feelings of shame and unworthiness, that we will discover that it's true. And that's very valid too. We might discover that it's true. So that's why we avoid it, that somehow we are damaged. We believe that somehow we are damaged and broken and that we can never be fixed. So here's what I discovered when I finally got the courage and the bravery to sit with the emotions that began to surface. I was asking for clarity. I was sitting, I was doing the practices. But I really wanted to know, like, why have I repeated these patterns over and over and over and over and over? I want to end this suffering. So I was finally able to touch the truth, the truth for the very first time. And again, this comes in glimpses, right? Yes, people can have massive breakthroughs in an instant, but oftentimes this just comes at glimpses as we go deeper and as we go deeper. And once I started to see the truth of my story, that was that I had created it all, right? Taking responsibility and then going into those feelings of shame and guilt. And as difficult as that, all of that truth was to see, I realized that it was my truth and only my truth. And that made me very unique and it made me very empowered. And the truth of all of it is that all of it's bullshit. The stories we tell ourselves about being unworthy and unlovable and not enough, we have to go into the pain of that. We have to face that to see that it's not true. We can't just tell ourselves mentally. Maybe some people can, but I would say there's very few exceptions to the rule. We have to feel that. We have to experience. That's what our souls came into this body to do. Our emotions are our superpowers. They really, really are. So our jobs really are to confront our truth in this brave way and say, okay, I'm willing to sink into the shame. I'm willing to sink into the feelings and the thought that if I admit I'm unworthy, I might never come back to that. And once you sink to the bottom of the ocean, and I love that, what Megan said yesterday, once you really do sink to the bottom of the ocean, you realize it's not fucking true. It's just not. It's just a story we've been telling ourselves. It's just a story society made up for us. It's just a story we adopted. Maybe we came in with it as part of our karmic, mission. Maybe we were born with it. I don't know. But it's not true. But we have to go in and ask for clarity around that to really see the truth and experience the truth. It's more than understanding the truth. So once I began to drop the judgment of my truth that I was believing for a really long time that I was unworthy and unlovable, and I began to embrace it. So this was another different thing I did. I really began to embrace it this last year, which looked like me sitting through and sometimes doing like somatic experiences or breath work, but no matter what practice I was doing, it was all with the same flavor of, feeling the pain and feeling the shame and feeling the unworthiness and feeling the self-loathing and feeling the rage and surrendering to the fear that I might truly be unlovable or unworthy at my core. And just sitting there and not pushing it away, just saying, this is me. I've had this for so long. This is totally part of me and it's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with me for feeling these things. There's nothing wrong with me for believing these things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me for having this mental construct. And once I started to do that, something really magical happened. I saw not only the truth of my existence and the path to true liberation, which was realizing that none of it's true. And so that to me was immediate suffering from my liberation, or liberation from my suffering. And like I said, it doesn't just go away. I have to do this often and regularly. And I think that has a lot to do with why me and my whole family are sick this week, is because I'm walking my walk now and I'm talking my talk now. And I went into these emotions on a deeper level than I had ever gone last week in that coaching call. I mean, we went deep. I heard stories that I would never, ever have been able to sit through and hear another person tell without freaking out or just leaving or going out of my body. And so, you know, I'm doing this work and I'm going deeper because I just have a knowing that this is the way to true liberation. So that's when I'm talking about this magical thing has started to happen when, you know, I'm seeing not only the truth of my existence, and that none of the stories I believed for so long and have been avoiding, right, resisting going into are true. But I also see the truth of all of your existence, everyone's existence. Okay, so this is the process to liberation. We're all avoiding feeling the feelings of shame, of guilt, of the darkness that's in us, of the pain that starts to surface when these things start to come up, when we get quiet, right? That's why we do. That's why we go and distract is because oftentimes when we sit, if we've been suppressing our emotions, those are the things that start to surface. But by running away, we start to perpetuate the suffering cycle, right? We're like, we sit down and we start to feel painful feelings and we want to cry. And we're like, why the fuck am I not feeling joy? What's wrong with me? And so then we just perpetuate this shame and guilt cycle. So that's what I'm realizing is that we're all avoiding these feelings. We resist these emotions by telling ourselves stories, by playing the victim, by, you know, we might go into the first layer of emotions, but if we don't go deeper, we resist it, and then we start to perpetuate these stories. And it's kind of a never-ending cycle if you've been here for a long time. I've been here for 38 years, and I'm just tapping the surface of this emotional liberation. But when I did, the more I have fully surrendered and began allowing and loving my truth, right, not pushing it away, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I got a very clear message that this was not just for me and my personal freedom, but that I am really meant to help others. And that's how this group came to be. A teacher of mine recently said, I'm taking a facilitator training, and a teacher of mine recently said, in the presence of truth, the heart always opens. Sit with that for a second. In the presence of truth, the heart always opens. If we can accept the truth of our shame and our guilt and go into those emotions without putting a story behind it that something's wrong with us, the heart will open. The heart will continue to open. And that could really not have been more true of my experience the deeper I go inside and ask for clarity. Because no matter how hard the truth is to admit and to face, when you embrace it, the heart will relax. Because the heart craves to be in the presence of what is. Our soul is just that. It's everything and nothing. It's dark and light. It's oneness, right? That's what connects us all. And it just craves to be in that true surrender to the presence of what is. Praying for the clarity is really like the signal to the world. It's the signal to your soul saying, I am ready. Like almost shouting, I am ready. Give me clarity around my suffering. I am ready. I'm ready and willing to do whatever it takes. I'm ready to see what I hid from my own self and what I've hid from my own self forever, what I've hid from everyone else, because I'm ready to embrace all of the possibilities that exist on this journey of becoming the me I know deep down I'm meant to be. and I'm ready to embark on the journey of remembering who I am. That's really the prayer, the most brave prayer I can imagine. So today I want to leave you with this. I want to invite you to pray this brave prayer with an open heart and an open mind on your own. This would be the prayer. It could be as simple as this, or you can put it into your own words. But I invite you to start to ask yourself this question. Let me see my life with clarity so that I can stop my own suffering and remember who I truly am and all that I am capable of. And just begin to sit with that, right? Maybe it's 5 minutes a day. Maybe it's 2 minutes a day. Or maybe you start to do these practices for up to an hour a day, and then it just becomes a part of your living experience. Everything, you start to see the answers in everything. You start to see that more of your supportive members of your soul family will come in. And that's what we've created here. This is really, really proof that this is happening. This happens when you ask for help. When you go inside and say, okay, let me see my life with clarity so that I can stop my own suffering and remember who I truly am and all that I am capable of. That's taking responsibility for your own life. That's embodying your inner creatrix. The ultimate truth of it all is, and this has to get in further than just up here, right? But the truth is that there's so much magic waiting for you. And I know you know that. And the truth is just too wondrous and too exquisite and way too full of love and way too full of joy and pleasure to miss out on. So the next step is to get into your body and really begin surrendering to whatever it is that you need to go through to come out on the other side and step into the frequencies of joy and access that pleasure and access that unconditional love. When we ask for clarity and see the truth, we are free to expand as widely and as wildly as our souls always intended to do. This is really the reality that awaits us on the other side of that bravest prayer. This is the reality that awaits you when you meet the part of you that thinks and feels that it is unworthy. And then you love her and accept her right back into your heart, and you naturally fall into complete forgiveness and compassion. So forgiveness and compassion, stop thinking about it. Fall into these emotions, surrender to the pain. That will just naturally occur. You will realize in an instant when you realize that all of those stories you've been telling yourself and living by are not true, you will just know in that moment you've forgiven yourself. You get it, right? You integrate. You just naturally are compassionate for your story and everyone else's story that is involved in this drama of ours, right? And it's a beautiful thing. And because you're not going to be perpetuating your suffering anymore. And that's liberation. And it might be that you see for the first time since you were born that you're worthy and that you're lovable and that you are truly in the core of your being the ultimate expression of God, goddess, source energy, universal energy, unconditional love, and really pure, pure joy. So let's take a moment to breathe together and just let that sink in. So I really hope that whether you were able to attend one day or all days, that something moved in you. I'm not here to make things easy. I'm here to take you into your deepest, darkest places and hold space for that and hold your hand and let you know that it's not scary. And that's just because of everything I just shared. It's just the way. It's the way that we all need to do it. And I'm not saying, I hope that you're not getting the feeling that life is just this dark place where we have to hang out in and surrender to. because it's not all that. But the reason we're suffering and the reason the world is going through so much trigger city right now, and there's so much happening, people's emotions are suppressed. And when we suppress our emotions, we like I said before, they go one of two places. We direct them inward and we cause ourselves disease, or we direct them outward and we cause others pain. So this is really our self-responsibility, especially in this time, to go inside ourselves and start asking ourselves, what can I do to liberate myself, to allow this energy to move, and so that we can hold space for others to do that work too. So that brings us to the end of our retreat. And let me just check the comments here. And I have some super exciting announcements. So as a result of all of this, this work I've been doing, and it's become really, really clear to me that I have more work here that I'm meant to do. I wasn't going to open my coaching practice again till September because I'm in the middle of a couple of trainings, and I just didn't think I could do it time-wise. But it's become really clear to me that this work is needing to be done. And that includes a few of you who have emailed me and asked me for coaching. So I felt into it. I gave myself a couple weeks to work it into my schedule. And so I'm going to be opening my coaching practice up again, my one-on-one coaching. So we have the portal, the Surrender to Remember portal. And if you're not a member already, please get in the portal. It's at $33 a month. You can do a monthly membership, or you can do a yearly membership, or you can do lifetime access. But that's where we work through this stuff, this deep emotional work together. Every month has a theme. We have incredible practitioners. Andrea gives us bi-weekly astrology reports, which really for any of us who are sensitive are so helpful, just to be aware of the energies in the air and learn to work constructively with that, right? And to not get bogged down and taken by surprise by some of the heavier days. And I mean, that's how I use it anyway. And also just to know, when is there a time to be more creative? When is there a time to really prepare to get a really good night's sleep so you can go out and do your work in the world the next day? I just love the astrology reports for that. So that's part of the offerings. We have Jessica, who is a channeler and a medium, which if you haven't worked with a channeler medium, it's so, so helpful when you start doing this inner work to get clarity, right? We can go inside and get clarity, like I just described to you. And that is really the ultimate work. But having someone like Jessica who can help us answer and access the questions and the energies that we might not be able to access on our own, because we do have so many stories, or just because we want to talk to someone on the other side, or we want to get more resolution to a problem that we're having from our spirit guides. We have Jessica in this group for that reason. And she does a general collective channeling every month, which is so powerful. And I've just so enjoyed the beings that have come in the last 2 months. But being in that space is activating in itself. So it's really a good chance to practice receiving in those sessions. So we have Jessica who does channeling. I give you oracle readings. I give you a workshop based on the theme. March coming up is all about emotions. So that's why I did this retreat as kind of like a prelude to what we're going to be doing in the portal together in March. I'm going to be teaching more somatic experiencing, more ways to conjure up emotions and traumas and experiences, so that you can feel those emotions and allow yourself to hold space for yourself to do this inner work and to ultimately break that cycle of suffering, right? Which is often because we're running away from the feelings and the emotions. So that's what we're going to be doing in March. So if you're not in there, definitely consider coming in. Like I said, it's $33 a month right now. It's such a good, affordable price, and the price will be going up in April to $44. So everyone who's in, your monthly membership is never going to go up. So I don't want to scare you off there. Whatever price you come in at is going to be your monthly membership fee for as long as you stay in. So, but I am going to raise the price because there's just so much value, and yeah, I'm just gonna raise the price in April because that was kind of the plan all along, is really launching it at a really low price, and then as I am able to bring more tools to you to increase the value, because I'm going to be increasing the value for you. So let's talk about the coaching, because I know a couple of you have emailed me this week about the coaching. Until Monday, I'll have a special just to kind of like relaunch my coaching practice. There are going to be 15 spots available. So you'll see the times if you sign up for a session. But anyway, I'm opening up to 15 people. That's all I can do. I cannot do any more. That's 15 a month. So usually I meet with clients once a week for the first couple of weeks. Sometimes it only takes one session. I mean, it just really depends on where you are. But having someone hold space for you and teaching you these tools, this is not about me doing the work for you. That's not how I work. This is all about you claiming responsibility and really learning the tools that I will teach you to begin doing your own processes. So that could absolutely mean we have 4, 8, 12 sessions together, because sometimes we feel really unsafe to go into this stuff. But that's how I work. I don't talk to you during our sessions. It's really all about me teaching you the tools, asking questions, being your guide, but you're going to be doing the work. So I just want to lay that out there, because I'm really not willing to work with anyone at this point who's not willing to go in and do the work that it takes to transcend the suffering and to get results. Okay. So we're all responsible adults. I'm here to absolutely hold the space and absolutely usher you in the most peaceful, compassionate, and soft way possible. But I'm not going to say that this is the easy road, because like I just explained, this takes a lot of courage and a lot of bravery, but it is the path to true liberation. And once you get it, you will have it forever. So that's what my coaching sessions look like. Now until Monday, I'm going to put a special price on it. So the individual sessions are going to be $125, normally $150. That's just what my prices are going to be per hour. And then if you want to buy a package of 4, if you purchase that before Monday, you can purchase them for $400. But after that, they're going to be $500. So those are my rates. And like I said, I have a spot for 15 people. I'm not going to take on more than that. I just can't do it with my family and with keeping the portal alive, which I'm so passionate about, and with keeping up to speed on my courses. But this is definitely, just because so many people have asked me, it's time. It's time that I step back into the one-on-one coaching, and I just love it. I really do love it. I love the group coaching setting, which is the portal. But the one-on-one sessions are powerful, and I'm ready to share with you what I got. So that being said, I can't wait to work with you, because I know some of you are going to be signing up, because I already sent you the information. So I'm really happy to start working with you one-on-one and seeing you in the portal. We will kick off March 1st on Monday. And so that day of the portal, we will have a live workshop with me. And basically the entire live workshop is going to be going through a somatic experiencing exercise, which then you will be working with for the entire month. That's how powerful it is. And that's how much transformation that I see from doing these practices. So I'm going to give you a really powerful tool, and then we'll get to have all of the other magical things that come with the portal. Tomorrow is a live full moon ceremony for portal members. So if you sign up before tomorrow, you will get access to that live ceremony. That's done on Zoom. We all have a chance to sit together. We are going to be doing some normal ceremonial things, but tomorrow we're actually going to be doing a really special group prayer for one of our members who is going through some health issues. So that's another thing that you can bring to these live ceremonies. They're really charged and activated. And so with that, I'm ready to draw names for the prizes. And I don't even think I've told you what the prizes are. So the prizes this month are one full month, one free month, excuse me, member to the portal. So one free month to the membership. And then the other prize is one-on-one coaching session with me. Okay, so I'm going to write down the names of the people who are on here today and add them to the list. So I did this random generator thing on the computer, and we'll see how it works. Okay, so, because there were too many people and too many entries for me to write them all down on paper. So who is here today? Lisa, Andrea. Okay. You're going to have to bear with me for about 3 to 5 minutes so I can plug these names in, and then you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get off the live right now. I'm going to take any questions, and then I'm going to go through these names. I'm going to put them in the random generator, and then I'll get on this Facebook page within the next half an hour and announce the winners. Okay? So if anyone has any questions, I can take the questions now. Let's see. Oh, there's so many good comments. Oh my gosh. Okay. So first of all, hi Lisa, hi Andrea, hi Beth, hi Courtney. Yeah, Lisa, amazing comments. Yeah, yes, yes, so much yes to all of this. Okay, Lisa, how do you sign up for the paid portal from the 1 month free experience from February? I'll just send you the link. Yeah. Your situation is different because I don't think you actually got in there in the back end. So I'll send you the link how to do that. And okay, you guys, so I'm going to announce the winners in the next 30 minutes on this page. I'll just post them to the page, and then of course I'll let you know personally if you won. But the one prize is going to be one free month. And if you're already a member, maybe you can just gift it to someone. Okay. And then the other prize is going to be one-on-one session with me to kick off, to really jump back into the coaching space. I am really excited about it, but I did have to sit with it for a couple of weeks just to make sure it would fit into my schedule, but it's going to fit perfectly. So I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being on here. I hope you enjoyed today's message, and I'd love, as always, if you could share with me any feedback on anything that came up for you, especially. And yeah, thanks for being here, everyone who showed up and participated. And I just love you. Thank you. Bye, Lisa. Bye, Courtney. Bye, Andrea, Beth. And if I missed anyone who's on here, goodbye to you as well. So much love.